Bryan Applewhite comes in to coach up those running backs. We've been talking about for a long, long time that a running backs coach is needed, especially with a lot of young, inexperienced players at that position.
Yeah, and I really like this hire. And it's nothing new. I mean, we knew he was one of the top two candidates, and he comes in. He's got 20 years plus experience coaching at the college level, and last couple of years at TCU, and he's been very successful over his career at developing running back talent. And I think it's definitely an upgrade. And I'm not trying to say anything bad about former running backs coach Ryan Held, but I think you bring in a guy with more experience coaching at a higher level, and a guy that has connections. So I think it's a home run hire. And I think the nice thing about it is that you bring in a guy like that was already dialed in, recruiting, and had some guys pretty close to committing to TCU that, maybe Nebraska pulls off here down the line. It's kind of cool that when you add him into the mix with Mickey Joseph and Bill Bush, I think you have completely upgraded. Well, and Mark Whipple, but you have completely upgraded your recruiting prowess over the former staff that you had, and not dissing those guys at all. But you've already seen what Mickey Joseph, the impact that he has had in the short time here, bringing in the likes of a Trey Palmer and it's kind of funny that, even Trevante Candidate still has Nebraska on his list, even though it's pretty much a long shot that he would end up here. But, Nebraska's on his top 8 list, the top running back prospect out there available in the country. And you just see, Mark Whipple just brought in two high-level quarterbacks in the transfer portal. And so, yeah, I think Coach Applewhite adds another dynamic in there that, a lot of other kids are going to start considering Nebraska when they might not have in the past. But, yeah, I think it's a home run across the board what Scott Frost has added. And, you got to throw Dylan Raiola in there too, or Dominic Raiola, in there as well. So, your 4 new coaches across the board have already paid off dividends. Even though Nebraska did lose over the weekend a coveted offensive line target that they were looking at, that decided to go elsewhere. But Coach Raiola, I'm sure, has some plan Bs in line. And right now, at this point with Nebraska's numbers and stuff, I still look at probably to add 2 or 3 more transfer portal guys here, or high school recruits here before the second signing day comes up. And I think they're looking heavily at some big bodies, and obviously an offensive lineman and maybe 2 defensive linemen to fill those holes. And like I said earlier, you can't ever take too many. Right now, you're not thinking about numbers wise, because we've seen what the transfer portal does. That right now you kind of want to be over that 85 scholarship limit going into spring and see how things evaluate. And you have numbers too with guys that are on 1-year scholarships, that you can obviously not have them on scholarship and use that somewhere else. So the numbers game, there's so many things that go into it. And, basically to sum it all up is I really like what they've added. It's going to be so fun to see when spring ball starts up here.
Somebody had commented here, our guy James Williams. Basically, he's looking for an explosive player on defense. JoJo Doman, he went back to Randy Gregory, who we saw on the field for the Cowboys. Unfortunately, he made a holding penalty that
to be.
I don't want to say cost him the game, but they couldn't get the ball back until there was about 30 seconds left because of it. But anyway, we know how good he was and still is. But that kind of game changer guy that's going to come off the edge, strip sacks, create turnovers, bat passes in the air, do all that kind of crazy stuff.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, who doesn't need that? Everybody in the country is looking for that, and arguably Nebraska has not had that pass rushing phenom since Randy Gregory went to the NFL and joined the Cowboys. And like I was trying to mention there, that it is a free agent this year, so we'll see if the Cowboys can afford to re-sign him or not. But yeah, that position right there is the one that you're always looking for, and obviously that's always going to be high on your list. And if you look at this roster right now, in my opinion, and if I want to put a candidate out there that can be that kind of a game-changing guy, it's my guy that I've stuck with since I first started watching him play in high school, and that's Garrett Nelson. This guy's got the biggest football motor I've ever seen in my life, and it doesn't stop. And he runs, I don't know what octane he's running on, but it's pretty high up there. And if you have the right guys surrounding him, I think Garrett could be that breakout guy and really put up some mind-boggling numbers if he's put in the right position.